Morning, everyone. Got about 30 more seconds. We're going to get started. So we're getting ready for New Year, New You. Wait for a few more people to get on. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're going to wait for a few more people to get on. It is so cold in the office right now. The energy is so high because I'm freezing to death. And I miss having you guys here with me. But we're together on Facebook. And it's exciting. See some more people coming in. Good to see you guys on there. Hey, I want to tell you, I can see on the right hand of my screen here too that I can see, who's on there. And maybe later on, if we have some time, we'll also do some questions. So if you have any questions you want to write down during the broadcast, we'll maybe catch some of those posts later on. But go ahead and let me know you're here. Let me know you're out there so I know who's watching. You can kind of just hit a like or send a little morning. If you say good morning, I'll see your name on the post. That's great. Thanks, you guys. All right, we're going to get started. So let's look at New Year, New You. So 2020 was a pretty rough year when you think about it, right? And it was hard for everyone. The good news is this is 2021. And sometimes we all went into the new year kind of thinking, it's 2021, what's going to be different? Well, I'll tell you the one thing that I realized for myself is that we can take control of very few things. And one of the things that we can take control over is how we take care of ourselves. So I'm excited to be on this journey with you and teach you to how to implement the 5 essentials. Many of you can know how to take care of yourselves, but it's really implementing those things. And we're going to do that together. So before we get started, I'm going to slide over to my PowerPoint and I want you to just watch this.
Chronic disease is the leading cause of death and disability in North Americans today. 7 out of 10 deaths are caused by chronic diseases. In the U.S., we now spend 3 times more on healthcare than any other developed country. In North Americans, we make up 5% of the world's population, yet we take 70 to 80% of the world's medications. Yet here we are. We continuously rank last or near last in the world in overall health. Senior citizens now spend more time in nursing homes and assisted living than ever before in history. The chance that a senior citizen will enter a nursing home is now 1 in 3. The chance that a patient in a nursing home is sedated or physically restrained is now 1 in 2. The average out-of-pocket cost to live in one of those nursing homes for just 1 year is $76,680. Science now confirms what we intuitively already knew to be true. It's not your genes, it's your choices that you make that ultimately determine your outcome. We have more diet books and websites and iPhone apps than we've ever had before, yet we're worse off than we've ever been. And now the average person doesn't know who to listen to or what to do. So we decided to create truth-based content and deliver an experience that we call a makeover. It's to help you get consistent results and ultimately change your life. The MaxLiving Makeover is based on 2 principles. 1 is that your body is brilliant, and 2 is that you're programmed for health. So today you're going to learn the most cutting-edge science on hormone-based weight loss, how to burn fat most efficiently, and how to develop new habits for lasting change. Our desire is that you would not only achieve your health goals for yourself and for your family, but our ultimate desire is to see you change the way you fundamentally view and manage your health and healthcare. And that's what today is all about. Over 100,000 people have participated in the MaxLiving Makeover like this one today. Everyone from soccer moms to Olympic level athletes and really everyone in between. You're going to learn more today about the regenerative power of the body and where true health and healing comes from than most people will learn in a lifetime. What that means for you is more time with the people that you love and more time to devote to your purpose on this planet. Your MaxLiving Makeover starts right now.
All right. Awesome. Let me get back in where you can see me. Great. So 2021, and you know, how you took care of yourself in 2020 was really a choice. And why it was such a hard year was because it also felt like a year of really not having choice in many ways. But in 2021, we will now recognize that we do have choices to make. We have things to actually let you know what you can be doing to make those changes. So those were all choices. Moving into 2021 was a choice too. I did get a little note from somebody that was hard to see or hear the video. I apologize for that. I was kind of hoping it was running through the stream, but basically what we talked, or what the video was saying, was that we're in a country that's in a state of poor health, and we want to help you make a change for that thing. So one of the things that was the first to recognize for yourself is that you're here. So if you're sitting with us, you know, pat yourself on the back. If you're watching us later on, pat yourself on the back for tuning in. You know, the first step in the right direction is just getting engaged and being on the program. So we're going to help you learn how to do that. 90% of all resolutions at this point have already failed. And that's why we're doing this makeover now. It's not really about just a New Year's resolution to fail at for a short period of time, but it's really about redirecting your life, redirecting change, and making changes that will last a lifetime. So we're going to show you how to stick to it, how to change even some of those I can'ts into I cans. And, you know, really, we know what to do. So many times we tell ourselves that we can't. So if we know what to do, we wonder why we don't do it, right? Does everybody kind of feel that way? Well, look, it's not that we don't know we need to change, but 80% of all success is actually psychology. It's not the mechanics. We think it's I don't know how, but it's really I don't know, like in your mind, what you're thinking. So the secret is you don't have to wait for your life to fall apart before you can make a good enough leverage to actually make change happen. Really, it's all about having a big enough why. So if a person has a big enough why, you can endure almost any how, right? The how is not the hard part. It's really the why. So why is it that you must change? Why is it that you want to change your health? Why is it for some of you maybe want to lose weight? Some of you don't need to lose weight. Some of you want to just get healthier, make this a healthier year. Some of you want to have more energy. And what we do know is that there are two motivations to your why. Tony Robbins wrote a book called Awaken the Giant Within. And it's a great read, but it really comes down to one thing. You have choice that motivates you based on either pleasure or pain. And everybody's a little different. So you might need to find out whether you're the person who is excited or motivated by pain or motivated by pleasure. I personally know myself, I'm motivated by pain. When I see what may be a possible outcome that I don't like, it motivates me to do something different about it. So when you look at your, like, for example, a pleasure motivation would be to think about setting a goal that you could then maybe go shopping for some new clothes, or that you set a goal that you are looking forward to not having to maybe take so many medications or be restricted in your activities. some of that is the pain, focusing on what would happen if I don't lose weight. What you may end up in a nursing home. You may gain another 20 pounds. I often remind myself, like, if not now, when? Because time just keeps on ticking on by. And so, you know, you have to determine whether you're a pain or a pleasure motivator, and that gives you the start for the why. Once you know what you're driven by, then it's your why that'll keep you going. And then if it keeps you going when you don't want to do anything, sometimes we want to give up, but it's your why that keeps you going. So if you have a big enough why, you can overcome any how. And that big enough why also needs to be about more than just you. Like just feeling better in a bathing suit, or having more confidence because you went down a dress size or two, or you know, whatever it motivates you. If it's only focused on you, then it's harder to actually stay with that why. But when you make that why more about other people, like who's going to fail if you don't succeed? Who's going to suffer if you don't succeed? Which is one of the things that I focus on. I know for me, I have to be there for my family. This past year has been a really hard year with my mom, knowing that she doesn't really have a choice right now where she is. Some of you know my personal story and know that my mom is, she suffers with Alzheimer's. For me, that's a big motivating why for myself and for my family, so that I can be there for them. So you have to have a vision. Proverbs 29:18 says that without vision, people will perish. And so if you had a chance at the, either connected on this Facebook page, or you would also have a link maybe in your email. Those of you who are already committed to the 45-day challenge, this is also on your 45-day challenge sheet. I want you to take time after the makeover today to write and fill out these visions for yourself. I have them written myself. And what you want to do is look at what is your vision. So where you're focusing on and where you want to go, how are you going to end up there, right? So, you know, if you think about it in a simplistic way, if you think of, you know, someday I want to be able to, you know, play Beethoven on the piano. Well, you have that vision and that desire, and then you have to back up and realize, what do you have to do to get there, right? Maybe the first thing you have to do is buy a piano, and maybe some of you need lessons, right, on how to even get there. You know, so you got to see the steps. So you can't just have a vision of where you want to go and not figure out, well, where do I have to get started, right? And so this vision sheet will help you to be able to look at your long-term goals and then break them down into short-term goals. Think about, where do you want to be 5 years from now? Means that you have to then look at, where do you want to be 6 months from now? And where do you want to be at the end of the 45-day challenge, right? And at the end of the 45-day challenge, do you want to, you know, what kind of goals do you want to set to then continue to go forward, so that this entire year is your best year ever and not just the last 45 days, right? Then you can outline like where you want to be and how you want to get there. So some of it, we also have to work at dreaming big, right? And so dreaming bigger is going to help you a little bit. On the back side of this sheet is the vision page, where you see that wheel. And it allows you to kind of look at all the different parts of your life and what you want to focus on, whether it be improving the way you think about your life, or your mindset about health, or your mindset about your family. You can look at your nutrition. All the 5 essentials are listed on here. And then in the wheel in the center, you rate yourself on scale 1 to 10 where you are now. And I did mine in yellow so that I can then look at the end of the challenge and see where I want to fill in those white spaces and where I want to see improvement, and what I've done in those 45-day challenges to make those improvements. So we're going to work on that sheet. And one of your homework assignments for this weekend is to work on that vision sheet so that you'll be ready. The other thing I also want you to do as part of this vision sheet, you may have to write on a separate piece of paper, is write out what is your big why. And we're going to share those actually on the Facebook page. I'm going to share my big why with you when we get to the end and go on the New Year, New You private Facebook page where we can support each other. And we'll be able to share our big whys there. So be ready for all those things. Okay, so looking at the standard American lifestyle that we have today, we have to kind of look at where we are at right now and what do we need to do different. Sometimes we're busy so much with our life that we're not even looking at what's really happening. And so that's why it's really easy sometimes to gain weight or start to lose your health. And then you look back and go, oh boy, I don't even know how that happened. I decided this morning to Google the percent of Americans that are overweight or that are obese. So this slide talks about the standard American diet, the way that it is right now. More people eat more junk food than anything else. And 2/3 of Americans are either overweight or obese. So overweight or obese means it falls in that category. Is about 66% of the population are minimally at least overweight. This morning, I decided to Google what percent is obese. And in 2018, obesity was at 32%. In Michigan, it was 33%. So Michigan was a little bit higher than the other standards in the United States. However, as of this morning, the U.S. obesity rate, not just overweight, but obese, stands at 42%. And 2020, the end of 2020, is now for the first time that the national rate has actually passed 40%. It has never been where obesity has been more than 40%. So if you're looking at that just 2 years ago, it was a 32%. So we are getting heavier. We're having the wrong choices in how we're taking care of our bodies. And quite frankly, I think we're getting programmed to that it's just okay to just keep going that direction. Part of the programming is even happening because anybody notice besides me that sizes are getting bigger? Like what used to be a size 8 when my mom was a young person or even younger than me when I was 20 years old, a size 8 was a size 8. Now that size 8 is actually like a size, 6 or 4 of the same size. Like all of a sudden, a bigger person can fit in a size 8 is what I'm trying to say. So that things have even changed just as standards, right? So that doesn't change whether you're healthy or unhealthy, what dress size you fit in. So we're not going to make this a focus on dress size. We're going to make it a focus on having the right percent of mass of muscle on your body. The more muscle you have in your body, the more you will burn fat. So this is going to be a program about focusing on how to reduce that. There are high effects of having too much fat hanging around on your body, whether it's a level of obesity or a level of overweight. It puts stress on your heart. It increases your risk of becoming type 2 diabetic. It raises your blood pressure. It increases your risk by 40 and 70% sometimes, depending on how much body fat you have, of increasing your risk of stroke. How about even gallbladder issues and many other health problems that you can see even listed on this slide right here. The higher your fat content, the more toxic your body is. The more toxic you are, the higher risk of building disease. The truth about all that is these are things that you can change. You can fix this. This is not something that you are a victim of bad genes. As a matter of fact, statistics show us that genetics only plays about 2% of the role of whether obesity is affecting and causing disease and whether you're stuck being obese just because of your genes. 2%, 98% of it is lifestyle choice. So guess what? You get to make different lifestyle choices that will literally change your future. And we can do this together. We're going to do this together. So you want to be healthier, and you know you don't want to get sicker, and we know we don't want to end up someday in a nursing home or stuck on medications we can't reverse. But how do we do that? Well, we really do have the power to make those changes become a lifestyle habit. And the truth of the program is that it's not just a short duration, quick diet, quick fix. It really is an input versus outcome. The input you put in is going to be the outcome you get. Think about it. Anybody that you know that is a healthy, ideal weight, or a healthy person who's not on any medication, what are their habits? Right? Look at their habits. They exercise regularly. They eat healthy foods, and they make healthy food choices. And they don't make food a thing that is, constantly what they're focusing on. So through the 5 essentials, we are going to help you find the answers to your healthy, sustainable lifestyle that you'll be able to achieve by doing this. Through the 5 essentials, it really becomes implementing each one of these things and implementing them through baby steps, one at a time. So we'll learn through this program every day how to make the 2021 your healthiest year yet. My staff and I are going to be coaching you through that Facebook page. Everything is going to be available to you through our private Facebook page that will be coaching through that and helping and support each other. And we're not going to be just supporting you, but we want you to support right back and support each other. It's really not about your healthiest year yet, but it's the year that you will be changing the way that your health is forever in the future. That's a big deal for me, and I became aware of the 5 essentials myself in 2007. In 2007, I actually thought I was a pretty healthy eater. I considered myself, I had been chiropractic care for a very long time. I exercised pretty regularly. I thought I was a pretty healthy person. And it was the year in 2007 that I lost my health for probably the most dramatically I've ever had in my entire life. And what happened was I had an autoimmune attack that was attacking my joints. I had so much inflammation in my gut and so much toxicity that it was now showing up in resting inflammation in my joints. And my joints literally seized up. I could not open or close my hands. I couldn't move my wrists or my elbows. I got out of bed in the morning and barely could walk into the restroom. So that day or that year that hit me, and it was one specific day where my husband said, you either find out what's happening to you or, I'm going to drag you to the hospital myself. And if you guys who know me know that I don't do hospitals or medications. So I was struggling to find out what was causing my health problems I had going on. And it was the 5 essentials that I finally learned that there were toxins in the food I was eating, and I didn't even know it. And many of you have that same thing where you're eating salads and vegetables, but you can't lose weight. And what is that causing that problem? For me, I thought I was eating pretty healthy, but then I was sick and I was losing my immunity and had an immune system attack. And it was through the 5 essentials that I learned that I had a few food allergies. I never even realized I was allergic to anything, but found out that gluten was a big problem. For some of us, gluten is a big problem genetically, but for many people, gluten is a big problem just because of the pesticides and the toxins that are actually transferred in the food into your digestive system and causing more damage. So we're going to learn more and more about that as we learn how to apply these 5 essentials. And just don't be too hard on yourself. Take baby steps. You're going to learn a little bit along the way every time that we learn a new essential and a new step in an essential. So there are some barriers to habit changes. First of all, you always want to remind yourself, never quit. And if you ever feel like quitting, you talk about it. You talk about it with a support person. You talk about it on the Facebook page. We're going to be vulnerable enough to share with each other when we feel like it and when we don't feel like it. So that's going to be one of the things. So some of the most common barriers are, first of all, lack of consequence. Like you don't give yourself enough of a consequence of what will happen if you don't. Also, lack of support, right? So we're going to give you that support and support each other through this challenge. How about having unrealistic goals? Like sometimes we set a goal to get something really fabulous, like maybe we think we want to lose 100 pounds, and then we just can't see the vision of the little goals along the way. Or maybe an unrealistic goal of too much change in too short a period of time. So you have to give your body time to change, and it will do that. Another habit problem or a barrier to habit changes is not having a realistic starting point or any starting point at all. So we're going to help you have a starting point by not only kicking off this 45-day challenge on Monday, but also by giving you a starting point with the scale, with the Tanita scale. It's not really a scale that's about weight, but it's really a scale that's about health. That Tanita scale that we have in the office will help you measure how much muscle mass you have versus how much fat you have in your body. And you could be the tiniest person and not really need to lose weight, but need to gain muscle. Because the more muscle you have, the more of a fat burner you become, and the better and healthier your metabolism is, the more you'll avoid sickness and disease. Sickness and disease is more common in people who carry around too much fat, but it's not the only way you become sick. As a matter of fact, there's something called skinny fat. So this challenge is not all about just weight loss, but about getting to your healthiest you. The other habit barrier or a barrier to good habit changes are feeling isolated. And this happens especially if you have nobody in your house with you to maybe kind of motivate you, or if you have people in your house that are doing things differently than you are in your family. So what I want you to do right now is to write down your 3 barriers that you know that you can look for and be aware of ahead of time so that you can make some changes towards those things that you know are going to trigger you to stop, right? So take a few minutes, write those down. While you're writing those down, I'm going to tell you mine. Number 1, I'm easily influenced by my family to eat poorly. I get, unmotivated when everybody else is doing something that I wish I could do, right? The other thing is I'm sometimes when I get frustrated or I get moody, I want to eat. It feels a little bit like a punishment to myself to self-sabotage when I'm in a bad mood. Then I just say, ugh, might as well give up, right? So I'm going to be aware of that and know that when I have that feeling, I'm going to switch in my brain. Instead of making a choice based on my mood, I'm going to make a choice based on my decision to make a change. And maybe that means instead I'm going to go for a walk when that mood happens. Or maybe I'm going to get in a hot bath and do something that I enjoy. How about also another thing for me is not focusing on my goals. So I'm going to have my goals written around and remind myself every day that I'm working hard for a reason and that there will be an outcome. And then in that outcome, I'll enjoy it so much that I'll want to just continue. I know that's happened for a lot of people too. And then self-sabotaging, just not picking on yourself and being too hard on yourself. You want to be hard enough to make sure that you stay focused and on track, but you want to be so hard that you just want to give up, right? So those are my barriers that I'm going to be working on through this. Take some time later on to focus on yours too. So now let's look at what motivates you. So we know that there are some barriers that might stop us. Then what's going to motivate us to keep moving forward? Again, I want you to take some time to write some of these out. What's going to happen when you reach your goals, and what are you going to be excited about in attaining those? I know for myself, it's going to be having more energy and feeling better in my clothes. I also have a daughter who newly engaged this year. And so we're excited and looking forward to her wedding next year. And I want to, feel great at that wedding and feel good putting on, whatever I'm going to wear for that wedding. But just feeling good about my body and my weight and my energy. The other thing is that for me, what motivates me is I'm fast approaching that 6-0. I'm not quite there yet, but I know it's right around the corner. Time is flying by so fast. I can't even realize, I don't even know what happened to 50, let alone here comes 60, right? So every year things just get going faster and faster. And I want to be ready for that. And I want to be the healthiest 60-year-old anybody ever saw. I was really motivated when my dad passed away year before last, that he actually invented some contact lenses in his lifetime. Some of you know he was an eye doctor. And he still did training and inventing at 63. So I have his innovative mind, and I know that I carry him with me in that. So I'm looking forward to see what God's going to do with my 60s, and just want to be the healthiest I can possibly be. So everybody has a different thing that motivates them, and that it's important to have that motivation available to you, because there's going to come the barriers, and when the barriers hit, then you'll have the mantra to remind yourself, and I'm going to do it anyway. Yes, this is hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. Another key to your success is having your being able to measure your success. So whether it be I think the most important thing is that Tanita scale that we talked about. During the 45-day challenge, starting on Monday, we're going to have everybody come to the office to do your weigh-in sometime between Monday and Wednesday this week. The other good thing is that we do have prizes. So this challenge is a prize-related challenge. And we have an eye roller, which is, some of you have heard me talk about foam rollers before. It's a way of being able to stretch and help your muscles after you've exercised. And it's also can be used kind of like a yoga routine to keep all your joints and your muscles moving well. And it's programmed like an iPhone is programmed to give you some workouts. So it's a pretty cool thing. And then we also are giving away a massage. So those are the prizes. When we look at measuring where we are, we know where we're going to go. So it's really important to have that measure of starting point. One of the things you're going to find out when you get on the Tanita scale is your BMI. Now, BMI is an important part of understanding where you are in how much fat you have to lose. And where normal becomes, but there is a little bit of a sway point, if you will, in BMI, because sometimes you can actually have more muscle mass and your BMI looks like it's higher than it actually is. So that's why the Tanita scale is really important, because it also gives you the percentage of muscle. So you can actually be a little overweight, but have high muscle mass and be healthier than somebody who is a normal BMI and has absolutely no muscle or lower muscle mass than their fat, right? So we use all these different key points to take measurements of what true health looks like and not just base it on size. So fact, weight loss or weight gain, whichever you want to do to get to the healthiest you that's possible, is actually done through hormones and not willpower. A lot of times we think it's our willpower, and then we get mad at ourselves when we're not successful. But it's really about hormones and how they control other functions in your body. And so let's take a deeper look at that. So what do we need to turn this whole thing around? So what happens is we eat too much sugar, or things that turn into sugar, and it makes our body create more insulin. And the more insulin you create, that sugar gets stored as what, everybody? That's right. I can hear you all saying fat. That's right. Sugar gets stored as fat. And because sugar gets stored as fat through insulin, the more sugar or foods that turn into sugar you eat, the more insulin you create. The more insulin you create, the more your cells become insulin resistant. That's the definition of type 2 diabetes. Insulin resistant means there's so much insulin that your cells can't even utilize it. It can't even hear it. It's kind of like the 5-year-old who says, "Mommy, mommy, 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 mommy," over and over again. And pretty soon you learn to tune it out. Well, if you guys are anything like me, us women don't really tune that stuff out. It's the men that are pretty good at tuning that stuff out. But too much insulin makes your cells not even notice insulin's present anymore. And so all it knows how to do is turn that sugar that you're eating, or food that turns into sugar, into fat and stores it in fat. The more body fat you have, the more leptin you create. The more leptin you create, the more leptin resistant you become. Now you have so much leptin that your body doesn't know that it's not hungry. And so it keeps getting a message that you are hungry. So the more sugar and sugar food you eat, the more fat you store. The more fat you store, the hungrier you feel, right? So the good news about that is there is a way to balance these hormones out. And the balancing of the hormones start by not basing eating on how you feel, but basing eating on a intelligent decision you make to eat the right foods at the right times. And we're going to walk you through how to do that. Within a 2-week period of time, your body will become not insulin dependent, and it changes quickly. And you will stop craving sugar. And it's all because we're going to change your hormones, not because you are going to work hard or have a stronger willpower. So it's pretty exciting that we can control those things. I want to talk a little bit about stress and weight gain. There's a hormone when you're stressed called cortisol. Cortisol is life-saving. You need it in order to keep you well when you're under stress. When you're under stress, your body internally reacts like there's a tiger in the room. And so it causes a lot of stress on your organs. And so cortisol helps to reduce that so that you don't have so much damage to your body. However, it causes you to actually weight gain. It causes you to weight gain more specifically around the gut. So we have to make a conscious decision to not only get off the cycle of, because here's the other thing that happens when we get more stressed, we get more sad. When we get more sad, we want to eat more sugar. The more sugar you eat, the more sad you get, and it just ends up continuing. So we're gonna do in this challenge is help you jump off that cycle and be looking at some positive ways to change your hormones so that you don't continue to feel as though you need sugar, and we can deal with the stress. Dealing with stress doesn't mean that you really manage stress, even though it says that on here. What you really have to do is manage your peace. We have to actually create more peace situations that will allow us to be able to relax, to bring down our cortisol, to know that we're not in control of everything. God's in control of everything. And, through him and with him, we can overcome any rough situation. So we want to work on things that can create some peace. Some of the things that can create more peace in your body and reduce more stress is identifying things that stress you out. So recognizing where those things are, maybe even stopping them or eliminating them altogether. Or if they happen to be things that you have to work with anyway, maybe come up with some skills to be able to work through those stressors and then know that, there's something that you're going to be able to do to de-stress afterwards. Taking time to exercise is a really important part of not only overcoming depression and stress, but is one of the things that commits me and dedicates me to every time I want to go work out. Which I want to correct that, because I don't want to go work out. I don't want necessarily to exercise. I want the outcome of exercise. Does everybody understand that? I don't want to I'm not feeling like, oh my gosh, I want to go burn my muscles and get exhausted because it's so much fun to exercise. After you exercise for a while, what's fun about exercising is how you feel afterwards, right? And so the good news is we're going to teach you through this 45-day challenge how to actually stay on track with your exercise, keep moving. In order to also have other techniques to reducing your stress, utilize your family and friends, talk things out. Don't try to do it all at once, and don't try to do it all on your own. God created us with people in our lives, and we need each other, and we need each other's support. So we hope to help you through this 45-day challenge. And that's why I'm going to talk a little bit. First of all, your number one goal with the 45-day challenge is to win, right? And the biggest win is that you hit your goals, not that you beat other people, which that's fun too, because you get to win the prize. But the biggest goal is for yourself to be successful at the end of the 45-day challenge, to reach the goals you set for yourself. So how are we going to do that? On the Facebook page that we invited you to, some of you are already on. If you signed up for the 45-day challenge, we invited you to the New Year, New You Facebook page that is going to allow you to be able to get the resources that you need. We're going to support each other. On the page, you'll see on the right-hand side, if you scroll down just a little bit, there's some links to paperwork that you'll be able to either download as a link into your computer or you can print it out at home. There's a Kickstart the challenge, and then there's also a Max T3 on the go. There's a grocery shopping guide, which we're going to also walk you through grocery shopping. I'm going to do it on the Facebook page live, so you'll be able to go back to resources for that. And then there's the 45-day challenge outline and eating plan. Why 45 days? It's actually the longest challenge we've ever done. Normally we do them for 30 days. I've done them for 21 days. 45 days is just another way to practice doing something, a habit over a length of time that would then create habits that would last a lifetime. And to have effective change, we would do it long enough period of time that it becomes your new normal, right? And that's ultimately the goal. In a 45-day challenge, we're really basing this to build a strong foundation that you can carry forward to have the best year you've ever had. The side effects to those are you look better, you feel better, you have more energy, less sickness and disease in your future or even currently. So looking at the 45-day challenge overview, we are going to, in that overview, you will see that there's meals and meal plans, nutritional support with supplements. Sometimes we have to support our food with supplements because of the way that food is made today. And we have to know where toxins are. We're going to have a certain exercise plan that you're going to follow and learn how to do it in only 12 minutes. We're going to have a disciplined mindset and practice some of those mindsets and focus on those goals. We're going to learn how to reduce toxins and increase your chiropractic care or your chiropractic outcome. Through these tools, we're going to be all successful on our 45-day challenge. So looking at the 45-day challenge meals, we're going to do Monday through Friday. We're going to be on the advanced plan with intermittent fasting. And on Saturday and Sunday, we will do core plan. We're going to be cycling these two plans. So that gives us more time in the 45-day challenge to be successful, but it makes it more sustainable. If you just do the advanced plan for a short period of time, many times what we end up doing is trying to figure out how to go back to something that is sustainable. So by implementing some core plan days in there, we'll teach you how to do both things from both directions. Whether it's advanced plan or core plan, you're going to be following some guidelines. The advanced plan guidelines say no grain whatsoever. Now, what's a grain? I tell people not to eat grain, and they also then come and ask questions. Well, I don't eat grain, I eat brown rice. Well, brown rice is a grain. Corn is a grain, not a vegetable. So you can't have corn. You're going to add healthy fats and eliminate damaged fats. Damaged fats are any processed fats, any fats that have been heated up or processed so that it has a longer shelf life. So anything that comes in a box or in a bottle that lives on the shelf for a long period of time is not going to have healthy fats in it. So we're going to increase our healthy fats by increasing maybe eggs and our oils like coconut oil and olive oil, eating foods that have healthy oils in it. We're going to eat naturally raised animal proteins. For fish, it should be a wild caught and not farm raised. For animal meat, it should be organic, so it has no toxins and antibiotics in it. We're going to eat low sugar fruits, just berries, green apples, and grapefruits on the advanced plan, and absolutely no sugar, not even sugar substitutes. What we use for sugar as a sugar substitute is really not a sugar substitute. It's an herb. It's called stevia. And stevia is an herb that tastes like sugar, but it does nothing to spike your blood sugar. And that'll help you stay in the insulin balanced, leptin balanced cycle so that you raise your metabolism and not burn sugar for fuel, but to actually burn fat for fuel. And that's ultimately the goal of the advanced plan. On the core plan, you're going to do some of the same things, still eating healthy fats, no damaged fats, and really not eating any plain old sugar per se, because sugar is still sugar and it's still going to be bad for you. But now you can add a couple of foods that are whole grains and ancient grains. And what that means is if it's a grain that has to cook for a long period of time, like your brown rice, should have to cook for at least 50 minutes, and not a grain that you just put in the microwave. Sorry about that. So if it's a grain that cooks or is already pre-cooked, that just gets warmed up, that's going to not be a whole grain. Okay. There are ways to get whole grains, and then that they would be minimalized. So we're only adding some grains on the weekends and not every single meal. As a matter of fact, my recommendation is to choose a grain for one meal for each day on the weekend. You can also add a variety of fruits and vegetables. So if maybe you're eliminating or avoiding Honeycrisp apples, or you're avoiding grapes and other fruits that you like to enjoy on the weekends, or cherries, right? Those are things that you can add on the weekends. Now, when we're intermittent fasting, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, we're going to have a different way of breaking fast. So breakfast isn't so much the most important, right? Some of you have heard breakfast the most important meal of the day. It is the most important meal of the day, but it's not an important meal of the day because of what time of the day it happens. It's the most important meal of the day because of how you break your fast, which is why it's called breakfast, right? So your breakfast can come at any time of the day, and it has to just be with healthy foods. So you don't want to break your fast with a bagel or a donut or waffles. What we're going to instead break our fast with is good, healthy, nutritious food with high quality proteins and high healthy fats. One of the things that we recommend is a grass-fed whey protein. It's a whey protein that is not an isolate, but a healthy grass-fed and grass-finished. We also offer, if there are people who are dairy allergic, they want to not eat dairy, you can use instead our Pure Path protein or our Perfect Plant protein. All those things can act as meal replacements. And if you need them to last you a longer period of time, we recommend that you add greens to them. They can either be a handful of greens or MaxLiving greens. You can also add nuts and seeds. I like to add cauliflower to mine for consistency, because many of you are maybe accustomed in making smoothies to adding things like bananas, which gives it a little bit more of a smoothie taste instead of a liquidy taste. And I found that cooked and frozen in my freezer cauliflower that I just dump in the blender when I make my shake gives it some of that consistency. So does avocado. It gives it a nice, thick smoothie taste. So we're going to use smoothies for breaking fast. If smoothies are not part of your bag and not something that you want to do, you can still do the challenge without a smoothie. But when you break fast at that point, then what you all want to also do is have high healthy proteins. So we're going to do eggs, maybe eggs with some organic cheese on it and some vegetables in it. That would be another way to break fast. Also, we like whole fat yogurts that are organic, and you can add maybe some berries to that and a little stevia for some taste. Those of you who are allergic to dairy, you can get a coconut milk yogurt. So there's lots of different options for breaking fast. Fruits you want to do more towards the beginning of the day. So this is also a good thing to make sure you add to your breakfast time. Now, intermittent fasting. When we do intermittent fasting, there are a variety of ways to do this, and it's a good idea to fluctuate that because your body gets into a pattern of normal eating. So we sometimes want to switch that up to cause your body to actually burn fat and use up the leptin properly so that you don't have so much hunger cycles. So intermittent fasting, we are suggesting a 16-8 method during the week. So Monday through Friday, we're going to intermittent fast. You can choose the time of the days that would work best for you, but making sure that you're not eating anything later than 3 hours before you normally go to sleep at night. So for me, I'm going to be doing mine between 11 in the morning and 7 p.m. And I'll do that for a period of time. But I also noticed for myself that I don't want to do anything later than 7 because I usually go to bed by 10. But I might want to move it up and do something earlier, like maybe not eat anything till after, or eat up till 5 p.m., which would then mean I'd move my time up to 9, right? So I would do 9 to 5 for that 8-hour eating period. So it's going to be different for everybody depending on your schedule and what you're going to do. But along with stopping eating sugar, which is the advanced plan that you're going to do, which is going to really impact those hormones, we're going to intermittent fast to trigger ghrelin to quit telling us that we're hungry. Now, what's going to happen during the fasting time is you are going to be hungry. And what you're going to do is recognize, hey, my body is doing exactly the right thing, the right time, and the right way. And you're going to drink lots of water. You can also drink coffee, but we want to do black coffee to make sure that we're not getting any calories. The most important part about the fasting period of time is that you can drink liquids, but you don't want to add a calorie at that point. You don't want to add calorie period actually at that point. So it's really about drinking water or black coffee, tea, and sweetening if you're going to have to sweeten with something, only with stevia. Okay. During the 45-day challenge, we have some supplements that we're recommending. We already talked a little bit about the whey protein and why that's important. We'll actually talk about that a little bit more later. But the pro-L-carnitine and the metabolics burn, those are new things for a challenge. And I want to talk with you a little bit about those too. So you can actually buy that bundle that we showed you. And we're going to make it available for you to buy bundles here at the office next week, or you can buy individuals. And the discount that we'll provide because you listen to this class is for 15% off, and it'll only be for next week. So the week of January 25th, right? That Monday for that week, you can mention that you saw this class, and the code is NYNY21. And you'll get 15% off and be able to get 20% off if you bundle stuff. So we can tell you more about that when you get to the office. Now, Metabolics Burn helps to support fat loss and increase metabolism. It actually fixes body composition. So this is going to be one of the things that's going to help you build muscle and burn fat. It also will help you fight cravings and make a healthy, stable metabolism happen. It promotes fat loss. So the lower fat you have in your body, the less leptin, so the less hungry you're going to feel. And it'll help you balance out those hormones that many times make us cycle back into craving more sugar. Now, pro-L-carnitine is something that also is very important for your challenge because it makes your advanced and core plan cycles along with your intermittent fasting much more effective. It helps with your cognitive health, so brain function is healthier, better with that. It is actually an amino acid that is involved in making your body use fat to produce energy, right? So if you're craving sugars, this is going to be the thing that's going to start changing your metabolism to switch over to something that burns fat, and it'll help us be less leptin resistant. So it's also going to improve your endurance with your workouts. And these two formulas together are going to help you be more successful with your weight loss challenge. Grass-fed whey protein. Why grass-fed whey protein? Well, it helps boost metabolism. It improves your athletic performance. This is also what we use to help people build more muscle. They've done research to find out that whey protein is the one that helps best build more muscle. Doesn't mean that the bone broth or the plant protein won't do it also, but this one, whey protein, does it the best. And a lot of people use whey protein, but use whey protein that's damaged. And what I mean by damaged is that the whey is the whey is the liquidy part that separates from milk, right? So it comes from a cow. If it comes from a cow, then the cow has to be healthy in order to make the whey that you're eating healthy. And in order for the cow to be healthy, it has to be grass-fed, but not just grass-fed, but also grass-finished. So grass-fed means that it at least ate grass for 30% of its lifetime. That's not very much. So grass-fed is only telling part of the story. That means that the other 70% of its lifetime, it can eat corn and grains. And because grains make us fat and sick, it makes the cows fat and sick and makes their whey unhealthy. So grass-fed and grass-finished is really the key. And our whey protein is grass-fed and grass-finished. When you eat conventional dairy or conventional beef, you are getting something that is 0% grass-fed, which means it's 0% eating the way God's design was for their body to be fed, which means they're going to be sick cows. And you don't want to eat sick cows. So it's a really important transition to make, is to make sure that you're getting grass-fed and grass-finished when it comes to dairy products and any beef products that you're eating, red meats. So one of the things that we're also doing during the intermittent fasting is maybe not snacking so much. Some of you recognize from the plans that we've done in the past that we had a meal and then we had a snack and then we had a meal and then we had a snack. And the snacks were almost as big as the meals that we had. So there's a problem with the balancing of the hormones during your eating cycle if you constantly eat. So what we have to do is making sure that we're making smaller snacks, and in the smaller snacks, enjoying a little bit of that snack time, but having time in between meals with less eating. I know this is a big deal for myself because I tend to mood eat, and then sometimes I get done eating something and I don't even know where it went. Like, anybody ever do that before? Like, you look at, even sometimes when I make an unhealthy choice to eat something, and then I'm like sad when it's gone because I didn't even notice I ate it. So we got to stop the mood eating and stop the constant eating and stop the unconsciously eating. So we're going to become more conscious about eating. We're going to be more conscious about our snacks. So there's a Max Keto bar, which some of you got to taste in the office last week. If we have some leftovers, I might put some more out next week so you can taste those too. Or Max Chews. I actually have my Max Chews here. And what's exciting about these Max Chews, now, so one of them becomes your snack, which, by the way, you end up learning to savor snacks when they're only this big, right? Instead of just blindly eating a whole pile of stuff you don't even know you're eating. This can actually become, 4 little bites if you're really savoring it. But it is made of healthy MCT oil, so it'll sustain your fat burning process, so your snack won't pull you off fat burning, and it tastes like a Starburst. So it really tastes like a really fun cheat. So if you didn't get to try those two snacks at the office last week, let us know. And we also have those available for you to get for your snacks for your success with your program. The other thing we also recommend is a daily essential. We have a daily essential for men and for women. And this is important because many of the nutrients, even though we're going to be eating more fruits and vegetables and healthy foods where we get our vitamins from, which I'm all about trying to get your vitamins all from food. But food today, even organic food, doesn't have the nutrition quality that food used to have. In 1945, one apple from 1945 would take the equivalent today of 3 apples in order to get the same amount of nutrition out of it. So our food, even if we try to make really great healthy choices that are non-GMO'd and not toxic and full of nutrients, organic, they're still not quite complete enough. So the daily essentials for men and women have in them a multivitamin, one either for man or for woman. The vitamin D3, which is the most important vitamin, especially been important vitamin in this last year. If you haven't been taking D3 already, you may have low vitamin D3, and low vitamin D3 has been reported to weaken your immune system. And I've seen reports actually coming from the hospitals that patients who have had COVID respond and get better quicker with higher levels of D3. And people who have low levels of D3 are the ones in trouble and getting sick. B complex is also in the daily essential, and that's a good stress reducer to help keep you energized throughout the day, and it is delayed released. You also have an optimum omega in there, as well as magnesium. So it's a complete pack. You don't have to open all those bottles of vitamins. It's all complete for the day. You just tear open the pack and take your vitamins. It's easy and convenient and more cost effective because all the vitamins are already packed together. Okay, so now we're going to talk about oxygen and exercise. And oxygen exercise is super important. And it's not just about what you look like, although that's one of the side effects. It's really about your hormones and how you feel and how you sleep, even how well you heal. It actually increases your immune system when you exercise. So there's so many other benefits that it really doesn't have anything to do with what you look like. That's just some of the pluses. The good news is we're going to do short duration, high intensity exercises that only take 12 minutes, and they're in the Max T3 workout that you will have a link to on the New Year, New You private Facebook page that you'll download. It's called Max T3 on the go, and you will learn that you can pretty much implement any exercise program, any type of exercise that you like to do, whether it's high output, it's all high output, but whether it's high impact or low impact, no matter what your age is, no matter what kind of condition your body or shape your body is in, you can do these 12-minute bursts that benefit your body to actually sleep better, lower your blood sugar, and reduces depression, gives you more energy, and it literally helps you burn fat, not while you're doing the 12-minute workout, but it makes your body release growth hormone, which makes you burn fat for 36 hours. Did you guys hear that? For 36 hours after your 12-minute workout, right? So my favorite part about the workout is just getting it over with. Because what do we come up with when it's time to work out? Lots of excuses. And we want to avoid these excuses by making a decision to hear yourself say, I don't want to do it, and then do it anyway. That's where your big why comes in. So it's not that you don't have the time because it only takes 12 minutes. It's not that you don't know where to start because now you got the Max T3 on the go program. It's not too difficult. You can do it anywhere, even when you don't feel like it. And the excuse of can't leave the house, well, that excuse is gone too, because there's nothing better to do than to do a workout program that actually gives you, you're just using your body weight. You don't need any fancy equipment. And in the Max T3 on the go download, you are going to get the directions of how to make your body your own gym. It'll give you more power, more strength, more endurance. It'll help you balance your hormones. It'll help you balance your mind and your thoughts. It'll give you better coordination and flexibility. It's really about, the Max T3 is all about time, tempo, and type. And you can interchange that. As a matter of fact, we recommend that you change the type that you do and the tempo that you do all the time, because exercise is about tricking the body into thinking it's doing something new and different. And when it's doing something new and different, you automatically release growth hormone into your bloodstream. And then that's where you get the results that you're looking for. Also, we recommend that you get the Pro Tabata app. That's spelled Tabata. And I recommend Pro Tabata. It costs a little bit more than just the regular Tabata app, but Pro Tabata allows you to program your times and your tempos and add your own music on your phone to it. So it's a really great resource for your exercise program. Now, we're going to also minimize toxins, and minimizing toxins means we're going to decrease the toxicity in our body. Toxins that we accumulate store themselves in fat, and many times we become weight loss resistant because we've had so many toxins in our body that our body can't release fat because it's dangerous that the toxins will be released. So one of the ways to reduce toxins, certainly a detox program is important, and some of the supplements and actually intermittent fasting will cause your body to release toxins, but it's important to quit putting toxins in also. So where is toxins coming in? Well, number one thing is our water. If you're not using a filtered or filtration system in your house or buying purified water, then you're getting toxins every time you drink water. We have some resources to help you with that if you ask about that at the office. Medications are also toxic. Sometimes we're eating what we think is healthy foods, but we're getting something called GMOs. When you buy healthy fruits and vegetables, you should make sure that you're getting the clean 15 and the dirty dozen straight. What does that mean? The clean 15 are the top 15 produce foods that are not affected by pesticides and genetic DNA changes through GMOs. The dirty dozen are 12 most common things that are most seriously damaged by pesticides and genetically modified with GMOs that cause cancer and cause inflammation in the body and cause damage in the body. And we know those are automatically right away in wheat, it's in cotton, it's in corn, it's in coffee beans, right? And so those are the things you want to make sure that you're getting those healthy by getting them organic. It's also hiding in pesticides that are on foods. It's also hiding in toxins are hiding in food additives. There's actually something called an excitotoxin. And an excitotoxin is a toxin that makes your brain think you want more of that. And manufacturers actually put that in food on purpose to make you continue to be addicted to the certain kind of foods that they want to sell you, right? And so certain kinds of nacho flavored chips and things like that have these excitotoxins in them that make you continue to crave more. So it's not that you have bad willpower, it's that you're chemically being altered in your brain to want that food. And the only way to stop that from happening is to stop putting the toxins in, right? Toxins are also hiding in plastics and some of our cookware. So you want to visit all of those things. These things have been known to, toxins have been known to be called obesogens and carcinogens. Carcinogens makes a whole lot of sense, and that's probably a word many of you heard before, is something that causes cancer. Obesogens, maybe some of you haven't heard that word before, but obesogens actually change and disrupt hormones in the body that cause you to be obese. They cause you to store fat, right? And these toxins cause you to be weight loss resistant. So it's not that you just are doing bad with your willpower. And it's not, some of you have even done this before where you think, I don't know why I can't lose weight. I'm eating salads all the time and all my friends are eating pizzas and I can't lose weight. It's the toxins, right? So we have to eliminate the intake of the toxins. If you want to learn more about detoxing, ask about that at the office because we can help you with some of those programs too. It's important while you're being successful with your weight loss challenge that you also be successful with your nervous system, because all these things are important to function and they rely on the brain and the nervous system being able to communicate with the body properly so that you have 100% function and 100% healing happening in the body, right? 100% function is a balance of mind, body, and soul, making sure that your body is functioning properly, and doing that through chiropractic care means that you're balancing the mind, body, and soul together, keeping them connected so that they work properly together and keep you at your best possible health ever. Subluxation is something that starts to come into the body to interfere with that communication between your brain and your body and reduces function. When you get reduced function in your body, you build disease instead of health. We want to keep your body building health. There are many warning signs that the body has that will indicate for you whether or not you have nerve interference or have subluxation. Now, many of you I've taught that it's not always about what you feel, but sometimes it's also you have difficulty or aren't aware that there's a connection between subluxation, a bone out of place in your spine, blocking normal nerve flow to any organ system in your body is by definition subluxation. The word actually means less light. And when you have less light, you have less function, you have less health. And there's many things that are connecting to that. Like when you look at this chart right here, getting colds all the time or having allergies, even food intolerances or fatigue, maybe you're not sleeping well. Those are things that are run and regulate by the nervous system and how your body functions. So they're connected. Many times people don't stop and think, oh, my child has asthma, I should take him to the chiropractor, right? Right away, everybody thinks if there's something wrong with the body, we must need a pill to change what's wrong. Well, the truth of the matter is when there's body's not working right, these are warning signs that you need to reconnect your mind and body together, and that these subluxations or nerve interferences can go on undetected for decades and start causing health problems, right? And so not only is it important, I know I'm talking to the choir, but it's important to not only get your spine checked, but it's also important to keep your spine healthy and well. What are your action steps going to be? Well, to sign up for the challenge, to make sure you get on the resources off the private Facebook page and get ready to start your 45-day challenge. You will want to review the grocery shopping list, and we will start posting Shop with a Doc segments on the Facebook page. And meanwhile, follow your grocery shopping list for the 45-day challenge. Many of you also have the Align book with recipes already in it, but if you need some ideas for advanced or core plan recipes, you can get them on our website. And don't forget about the discount code for getting your supplements in the office right away next week. So those are your initial action steps. Part of being able to keep your nervous system healthy and well is I want to give you all a reminder to continue to do your home care. Whether you're on track with home care because you just started in our office, or you've been a patient in my office for more than 10 or 15, or some of you even 20 years, that you've maybe gotten off track with your home care. So home care is really important to making sure that your 45-day challenge is successful. And it's one of the things that I'm challenging myself and my team to make sure that we do regularly, because it's easy, you know, when you're the mechanic, to have your own car not being able to be well taken care of. So we have that happen in our office too. We are human. And so we're all going together to be reminding each other to keep our home care activities up, so that we can keep our nervous system as healthy as possible and keep all the systems working well, so that we can have the most success with this 45-day challenge. Another way that we're going to be successful with the 45-day challenge is to support each other. Jim Rohn says, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? We want you to be able to spend time with people who support you in this process. And maybe the people that are right in your home or your closest friends aren't maybe supporting of that. I encourage you, if you do have a friend that is like-minded like this, that you do this challenge together and support each other. It's great to have a partner to support each other with. And I also want to encourage you to talk about your challenges, talk about your successes on the Facebook page. And we want to hear back from you, because it encourages us to encourage you when you encourage us, right? So let's feed each other through this 45-day challenge and support each other with our wins and our struggles. Celebrate the short-term victories. If you lost just a couple pounds, talk about it and support each other. I like to even post sometimes like, did my workout, right? Or you made it through day 1 without any sugar, right? Those little short-term challenges. And I like to break them down into days at a time, or even sometimes hours at a time. If I think I can't go, like if the first day you try and you mess up, don't give up the next day, start over again, right? So if the first 24 hours that you do the challenge, you go without sugar for 10 hours and then you mess up, well, then the next day, make yourself go for 15. Right? And then when that 15th hour comes in, go, could I do 16 hours? Or can I go to bed right now and make it to the next day without actually eating any sugar? And just take it one step at a time, one day at a time, even if you have to, 1 hour at a time, and celebrate the short term in the process. I'm so excited to do this challenge with you guys. I'm looking forward to my goals that I'll be sharing with you on the Facebook page. And I want to hear yours too. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. In February, one of the things we have coming up is many of you listen to this challenge, want to share it with your family members or friends. Please do. Tell them where to come and watch this video. This can be viewed by so many people over and over again now on our Facebook page, where we can help people get the resources that they need to be successful and making 2021 their best year ever. and the year that they changed their health for good. So we wanted to be able to share that with your family and friends. We have coming up February 8th through the 12th. We are having a patient appreciation week in the office. And what that means is you can tell your loved ones about our office who've never been patients here before, and they can come in and become new patients in our office. We are collecting a $20 fee for a new patient exam and consultation and surface EMG. They'll be able to find out if they have subluxation or not and do it only for $20. You can call the office to schedule for that appointment. And during the week of February 8th and 12th, we'll be giving back or saying share the love to a local community that helps share love with local teens and helping prevent sex trafficking. So I want to thank you guys for joining us in this challenge. I look forward to hearing from you on the Facebook page and seeing how we're going to do this challenge successful together. I'm looking forward to hearing all the goals and the big whys and just helping us all be successful together. And thank you for spending the time with us today. And you're awesome. God bless.